the fence.
Oh,
and a goal. Walking in front of him, he's inside the 10.
Oh, block from behind.
Cut off the blast, no problem at all.
Fifth, up for the cradle.
Got locked up.
One guy that's got an angle on it, and he cuts back on it. Deep ball. And Cravat couldn't corral the
Deep
ball.
fly to right field against the wind. It's out of here.
Buries it. We're tied at 19.
It's hard to believe it's the final Friday of the regular season of boys varsity basketball here in the state of Ohio, but indeed it is. ICRC-TV Sports is pleased to present High School Hoops tonight, emanating from St. Bernard, Elmwood Place High School, where the CHCA Eagles have made the trip from Sims Township down here to St. Bernard, Elmwood Place to take on the Titans. Hello everyone, I'm Glenn Olson. I'm joined by my partner Frank Edwards. Frank, as I said, it's hard to believe it's the last Friday. We're looking at the tournament, but we got one more regular season to get through.
Right, yeah. I mean, in some seasons, this is the beginning. This is just the start. You know, this is when you get your blood pumping and you're ready to get in there and start playing, because the tournament, this is where you want to be and start getting ready to play in the tournament.
Both of these teams reside in the Miami Valley Conference, one in the scarlet, one in the gray. Both sit in the third place position of their respective divisions within that conference, and both coming in not having played well over their last 4 games.
Right. They both had roller coaster seasons. I mean, both have had impressive wins seasons,
Sure.
but they've also had some struggles of some up and downs. So it's going to be a battle of who's going to want it more. I mean, they're both going to be seeing each other. Obviously, St. Bernard's got to play Clark in that first round, but it could happen to be a potential matchup next week.
Yep, we'll touch on the tournament a little bit later in the broadcast. For right now, let's take a look at a couple of our key players in the game. First, for the St. Bernard Elmwood Place Titans, Anthony Harris has been all over the stat sheet and all over the league leaders in the stats for the Titans.
Yeah, I've seen him play now 3 times, and he is a complete player. He can shoot the 3 ball. He loves the dribble drive. They have to make sure they have him circled, because if he has a big game, St. Bernard has a big game. And I've watched that a few times now, so they're going to make sure they have him covered.
Yeah, Harrison's coming in averaging 16.7 points a game, just under 8 rebounds and a pair of assists. He is 4th in the MVC in scoring as well as in rebounds, and he's also first in steals. He's a defensive player
right.
You have to watch out for
That's
as well.
Usually the best players on your team is usually a great defender, because it spawns off their offense, and that's something we see with Roger Bacon. This defense thrives off it, so they're going to have to take care of the ball tonight because he's quick with his hands.
Meanwhile, for the CHCA Eagles, as I mentioned, they're in 3rd place also in their division. They reside in the scarlet, the Titans in the gray of the Miami Valley Conference. But Mason Bernhardt, the 6'5 junior, had an outstanding year for the Eagles.
Yeah, I love him around the basket. He really gets after it. He's determined to get that ball. He's really good with the basketball under the basket. So just like I was saying about Harris, if he has a big game, CHCA has a big game. So it's just going to be a battle of who's going to stop each guy.
Bernhardt comes in averaging over 11 points a game, averaging just under 6 boards, a couple of assists. He is 4th in field goal percentage in the Miami Valley Conference.
Right.
So big man having an impact
and
all over the
he gets after it, that's for sure.
All over the offensive end of the floor. So it is senior night here at St. Bernard Elmwood Place. We're running a little bit behind schedule. If you're tuning into our live stream through ICRC-TV.com or through Spectrum Cable, we appreciate you tuning in. We're looking forward to bringing you a good game tonight. We're going to step away for a quick break, and we'll be back to finish analyzing the matchup right after this.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Cheers. Take time to be a dad today.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to High School Hoops on ICRC-TV Sports. Glenn Olson and Frank Edwards here with you from St. Bernard Elmwood Place High School. Tonight's Miami Valley Conference matchup between the Titans and the CHCA Eagles. Frank, we touched on it briefly in our first open. Both of these teams are not playing tremendously well coming into this game over their last 4 games or so.
Right, and some of it's got to be too is the competition, especially on the CHCA side. I mean, they've had to play Division I Elder, before that Milford, who's playing a lot better right now. And then you have Alter, who's probably one of the top teams in the state after what they've put against them. And I've seen CHA play very well. The Cincinnati Christians very well going to have a deep run in Division IV. The MVC top to bottom is very, very competitive and balanced, and I'm impressed with the conference this year because all the teams are beating each other up.
Right.
And that's just because there's good teams in it.
And Summit Country Day just on a tremendous roll, still undefeated. The girls are undefeated as well, so special season happening down in the Hyde Park area. But for the Eagles, you mentioned earlier in the week, on Tuesday they lost to Alter pretty significantly, 74-34. Before that, they lost to Summit Country Day, 67-35.
That's two top teams in the state.
Yeah, and then you lose to Elder, 52-35. So nothing to be ashamed of with the quality of the competition. Their last win came 2 weeks ago tonight when they beat Seven Hills pretty handily, 63-33.
Well, this is a good thing to think. What you just talked about is, let's see if the coach, why he scheduled these games, to be prepared for the tournament. So this is an early chance to see if they're going to come out and be strong and play well after playing that tough competition.
Yeah, for the Titans, they lost to Cincinnati Country Day by 6 points back on the 11th last Saturday. They lost to Cincinnati Christian, who's playing fantastic basketball this year, 71-38. They defeated Oilers 69-57 and lost to Laughlin in a game we covered here on ICRC a couple weeks ago for you. So we're going to step away for a moment for the national anthem, and we'll be right back.
We ask that you please stand, please remove your caps while Miss J and the Lady Titan Singers sing the national anthem. First off, for your visiting Eagles.
Fantastic rendition of our national anthem by the Lady Titans Singers. Very talented young ladies, so congratulations to them. One of the more chilling versions of the anthem I've heard this year throughout the basketball.
Yeah, whenever I've noticed that when it's live singing instead of just played over, it does have a different feel to it.
Yeah, for sure. So just getting set with introductions here on the floor. The Eagles are being introduced first. Frank, what do you think we're going to see in this game tonight?
You know, it's funny because I was thinking about this before. You know, there's potentially this could be a matchup in the next round. You know, I believe it's going to be, you want to set the tone. Whoever comes in and just takes control of this game, and say it happens to be St. Bernard, they're going to be a lot more confident when it's in the tournament. So whoever comes in this game wanting it, it's a big, important game. And, you know, it's funny because this is like the practice game before it would happen, but Clark's having a great second half of the season, so that's a toss-up. but it could very well be St. Bernard in the same matchup right here.
It's going to be interesting. Something's going to have to give. Both of these teams come in with 12-9 overall marks, 6-6 in their respective conference. As we mentioned, the Titans reside in the MVC Gray. The Eagles reside in the MVC Scarlet. So the Titans, of course, are coached by Michael Ratke, whose father was a longtime coach here back in the 70s, 80s, and late 90s. And the CHCA Eagles, of course, coached by Andy Keimer, who was an assistant under Greg Richards at Mason, who the Comets are having a special season indeed up at William Mason High School this year.
He's done a fantastic job at CHCA the past few years. I mean, even just having, that's why the scheduling is the way it is, because he's brought in a very good team and just how they play, and and it's kudos to him and what he does for the organization.
Yeah, well, one thing we learned from Brian Neal at Roger Bacon last year covering their tournament run was you want to be playing your best basketball right around this time of year heading into March. You don't want to peak too soon. So both of these teams are ready to make a run in the tournament, and when we get the spot between the first and second quarters, we'll talk about a matchup potential with these two teams again that exist. But we'll get to that later. Right now, we're getting set for the opening tip tonight. Your officials on the floor, Grant Stanley, Mike Condon, and Jason Noter. Stanley, Condon, and Noter are officials assigned by the OHSAA in tonight's contest. Here you see Coach Keimer.
Interesting to see what type of defense he throws at them, because as we've noted, St. Bernard's last few matches have lost because they haven't been able to shoot the long ball very well against the zone. So let's see what kind of practice they've done to try to beat a zone if they do run a zone defense.
Sutherland's going to jump for the Eagles. It'll be Logan Jones for the Titans. And we're underway from St. Bernard Elmwood Place High School Hoops on ICRC-TV Sports. Oh.
St. Bernard starting out in his zone.
Three-point attempt coming up from the right side. It's going to be off the mark for Sutherland. It's going to be rebounded by the Eagles. A long three-point attempt comes up off the back iron. No good for Nelson. Rebounded by the Titans. That's Evan Garner. Titans will take their first crack on offense 30 seconds into the game. Close defense being applied by the Eagles here early on, Frank.
Yep, zone versus zone so far. So it's going to be who wants to box out and get second chance points, and who's going to shoot the ball well tonight.
Trying to feel each other out to see what we're going to see offensively before making some defensive adjustments, I'm sure, later on in this quarter. Oh, looked like wasn't quite ready for that pass down in the paint. That was Anthony Harrison, was looking over at Coach Radke for instructions. Shot's going to be well off the mark, rebounded by the Eagles. They'll make their second trip down the floor just over a minute into this game.
Nice pass.
That pass trying to get down to the low post. It's going to sail out of bounds. Going to be last deflected off of a Titans player. It will stay with the Eagles. Still scoreless at 6:52.
Nice.
Yeah,
to the hoop.
Yeah, nice little flash right in the paint. Bernhardt, 2 points.
Can't draw that one up too easy. You just said you just go straight to the basket, and hey, it worked.
Talked about Bernhardt in the open, averaging over 11 points a game. Shows you why right there.
Yeah, CHCA has got a different type of zone defense. They're playing a lot more high pressure with their guard play. That just makes sure they got to have to talk. They have to communicate a lot more when you do that, because you got to let your partner know that you're sagging back to make sure you got the top of the key.
Yeah, thus far the Titans haven't been able to penetrate inside that zone. A three-point attempt is going to clang off the front of the iron by Garner, rebounded by the Eagles. A little bit of pressure being applied by the Titans before they'll fall back into that zone at the other end of the floor. Baseline drive is going to be forced out of bounds. That's Nelson. Wasn't able to get a clean look to get that shot up underneath the basket. Ball deflected off the bottom of the backboard.
Yeah, the freshman Cole Fisher, he's been having a great year at the three ball. So we'll look to him, get him a couple shots in here, because I think he's the one that really lights it up.
And a traveling call on the Titans. So thus far, the Titans haven't been able to execute offensively.
Really, both teams, and that's, if you've seen the last few games, they've both not been playing well, and it's starting to show a little bit right now in this first quarter.
Yeah, just not able to get the looks they're wanting to get for their respective offense at this point. There's Coach Keimer calling out instructions to his team on the floor, waiting for Bernhardt to inbound the ball to Nelson, who will bring it down.
They changed to go to a man-to-man defense now, St. Bernard.
Three-point attempt on the way. He's going to clang off the iron. No good. That will be rebounded by Garner.
Good defense.
Yep, very nearly a turnover for the Titans, and it will be. Good recovery by Bernhardt. He's going to bring it down. He's going to take it by himself. No foul. Good follow. Won't go. Stapleton's going to come up with the ball. He's off to the races. Quick down to Harrison at the other end. Off the glass for 2 points, Anthony Harrison.
That's the two players you really want to look at for St. Bernard is Stapleton and Harrison. They both are the two contributors that do a lot for their team.
So good answer by the Titans to find their way onto the scoreboard. Came at about the 5:30 marker thereabouts, and we're going to have a foul called down underneath, and Stapleton can't believe it. He had a pretty comedic look on his face.
Yeah. You got to be careful, you know. You almost turn like a different player as you pick up fouls because you can't play the way you normally play if you're an aggressive player.
So first of the game, his first, team's first, obviously. Eagles will have the ball underneath their own basket. Successful inbounds. Eagles will begin to work the ball around the perimeter, trying to see what they can make happen. It's going to be a feed inside.
Oh.
And stepping on the out-of-bounds line was Mason Bernhardt, or on the baseline, excuse me.
That's where he wants it, though. I mean, when he gets underneath that basket, he's very strong.
Just good pressure by St. Bernard to force him a little closer to that wall than he might have liked to have been.
Mm-hmm.
So all tied up at 2. Stapleton for 3. It's going to be no good off the back iron. Rebounded by the Eagles. Long pass down the floor. They were trying to get it to Bernhardt. Gets deflected, but the Eagles somehow managed to hang on to it. Baseline drive. He's going to think better of it and dribble back out. That's Cole Fisher.
Nice.
And a foul in the paint. So a very physical game here in the early going. When we saw St. Bernard and Lock on a couple weeks ago, it was a pretty physical game.
Right. Cole, you know, for being a freshman, he plays very aggressively. He's going to be a very good player in the future, just how I see his mentality. Here we got a replay here, him driving and straight to the hoop. I mean, it's tough. I see freshmen in different sports, and usually they do look older, and I see a bright future for him. He's been working hard in the offseason.
Cole Fisher, the freshman, sinks his first free throw, puts his team ahead by 1. Second one won't go. Rebounded underneath by Harrison. Harrison's going to bring the ball quickly down the floor. It's going to dart through 2 defenders. Shot won't fall. Logan Jones was there with the follow, but it won't fall, and he draws the foul.
Yeah, Coach Keimer going to like that because he just went. That's the one thing you do not want St. Bernard to do is dribble drive on you, and especially you don't want him to be doing it. That's something they do very well.
Cole Fisher picks up his first foul. Eagles first of the game. Logan Jones at the free throw line. First shot is good for the senior forward. Lots of seniors on this team for the Titans. As we mentioned, we had senior night festivities here prior to pregame warm-ups and introductions. So congratulations to those senior basketball players and cheerleaders who were recognized tonight and playing the last game on their home floor. Logan Jones sinks his second free throw, puts the Titans ahead by 1. A little bit of a hole in the defense there.
Good head fake.
Nelson drove in, got it over to Bernhardt, who draws the foul. He'll go to the line and shoot a pair.
I've had the pleasure to be able to coach Mason, and I knew it right when I seen him as a young age how well he is under the basket. He's good at sealing. He's very good at sealing, and he's good with the basketball underneath the basket. Usually I've seen big guys that, you know, once they dribble the ball, it's over. So, but he does it very well.
You see Mason Bernhardt, the junior forward for the CHCA Eagles.
Nice free throw.
6-4 now in favor of the Eagles. Approaching the 4-minute mark in the opening quarter from St. Bernard and Elmwood Place High School. Titans were trying to feed Logan Jones there, who's denied. Ball sails out of bounds and turns over to the Eagles. Long pass. St. Bernard's going to have to make an adjustment on that, Frank. The shot won't fall, though, for Tanner Sutherland. Here come the Titans down quickly. Garner nails it. Great shot by Evan Garner. Gets his first 3 points in the game. Eagles back down quickly, though.
There you go.
Sutherland's going to drive in. It's going to be tied up underneath by Garner. Garner was kind of
great help side defense.
Garner was kind of quiet through most of that Laughlin game we covered 2 weeks ago, but then came on, you know, halfway through the third quarter, the fourth quarter, and ended up with a very strong performance.
Well, they say, you know, as a shooter as myself, you got to shoot yourself out of a slump sometimes because that you're the shooter.
There you see Garner's three-point attempt on replay. Titans back down on their offensive end of the court. Again, approaching the 3:20 mark. Three-pointer's going to come up for the left side and fall through. Michael Flowers.
Nice shot.
So the Titans able to get some early threes falling that they weren't able to get falling against Laughlin 2 weeks ago. Good ball movement by the Eagles. Trying to find some hole in this tenacious Titans defense that has stepped up the intensity at this point. Drive in, nope, it's going to be a travel. Matthew Cadnar caught the pass and went up, but a travel will be called. So good looking play. Coach Keimer not happy with it.
Either he's excited because he was so wide open under the basket and took that extra step, or
Sutherland set the check back in at the next dead ball. Cole Fisher will come back in for the Eagles also. Titans slowing down the pace a little bit compared to their last couple of trips down the floor here in the first quarter. Drive in, kick out to Garner. Garner will think better of it. They'll put the ball in motion again. Long three-pointer, and bang again. Michael Flowers is on a roll from three-point land. It's 2 in a row for Flowers, the junior guard. 13-6, Titans way out in front. Nice answer by Michael Nelson, though. 13-9.
just got to make sure you have a hand. You don't, even if the team's struggling at three-point line, you still got to have contest. You still got to guard it.
It's going to be a travel on Garner. His momentum got the better of him there as he tried to ball fake. So the subs do check in that we mentioned a moment ago. Will be Eagles ball on the far sideline, not far from our broadcast position here. If you've not seen a game here at St. Bernard Elmwood Place High School, great facility to come watch a high school basketball game.
It is very nice here.
Have to wait till next year at this point, though, right? Getting into neutral floors for tournament play.
Right.
Out of bounds. Clock stops at 2 minutes.
Both these teams are in the Western Brown sectional, and that's I had the experience of having my first time ever coached basketball game at Western Brown, and it's a long bus ride.
Long bus ride from St. Bernard, that's for sure. 13-9, 2 minutes. 3 team fouls for the Titans, just 1 for the Eagles at this point. A little bit of miscommunication there, but doesn't result in a turnover. Fisher drives in, backs out of it. They'll put the ball in motion again. That's Nelson.
There's
looking inside to Bernhardt. 15-footer goes up for Vanatsky, and it's good. Vanatsky, the junior forward, gets his first 2 points of the game. The Eagles are back to within 2, 13-11. Under the minute-and-a-half mark here in the opening quarter.
St. Bernard's done a lot better job moving the ball against the zone since we've seen him against Laughlin and CCD.
It's Anthony Harrison, senior guard. Feed inside to King. Cross-court pass. Flowers going to kick it back over to Harrison. Harrison thinking about splitting the defenders. He'll launch a three and drains it. Going to have to guard Harrison a little bit closer than that, my friend.
Yeah, he was just doing a couple fakes, and he said, well, I'm just going to go ahead and shoot if no one's going to guard me.
Yeah, if you're going to give me that, I'll shoot it. Good defense underneath, denying Fisher. Eagles struggling to find an offensive rhythm at this point. Three-pointer's going to go up from the left side, but won't fall. Vanatsky took that three-point attempt. Eagles trail by 5, approaching 30 seconds to go. Garner tries the behind-the-back dribble, was deflected right back in front of him. Can't get the shot off, though. Good defense by Harrison, and a foul will be called.
He's running away, but he did.
Harrison will pick up his first, the Titans' fourth. Ball will be inbounded right in front of our broadcast position. Danny Vanatsky will handle the inbounding duties for the Eagles. Substitutions on both sides. See what the Eagles can do here with 23, almost 24 seconds left in the opening quarter. Down by 5. They're going to have to get points here.
They got to move, though. See, against this man, they got to set up some kind of motion here. But also, they're trying to just save it for the last shot like you were talking about.
Yeah, dribble it out. Here we go. We'll see what they're going to draw up. Fisher kicks it out.
That's in there now, man. Nice shot. Tough.
Vanatsky shot won't fall. Three-quarter court shot by Harrison won't fall. And at the end of one, to St. Bernard Elmwood Place Titans 16, CHCA Eagles 11. Good first quarter, Frank. Any opening thoughts on what we've seen so far?
Yes, St. Bernard shooting the ball a lot better from the three-point line, that's for sure. CHCA just needs to calm down a little bit and go to where they need to go, because Mason started off demanding the ball, so we'll see what he does in the second quarter.
Let's take a look at that upcoming Division III sectional graphic that we've talked about. You see St. Bernard Elmwood Place is going to open against Clark Montessori out at Western Brown High School next week. The winner of that game gets Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy, so we could very well end up having another rematch just 7 or 8 days later.
Right. I was just speaking with Coach there from CHCA, and I was actually saying what you just said, and they said, well, Clark's been playing, and they have. The second half of the season, they've been playing very well. Like I was saying, the MVC is by far the best small school conference in Cincinnati area this year, and kudos to them. I mean, all the teams have been beating each other. You know, if you can look back at, obviously Summit is running away with it. I mean, they're top to bottom the best team I've seen in Division III, and I'm excited to see how far they go, and I also would like to see a Roger Bacon rematch.
Well, we've seen stranger things happen in the tournament for sure. For example, last year we thought we were going to be treated to a Summit Country Day Roger Bacon game and missed out on that.
Yep.
Due to the upset.
And Purcell also was playing well.
Purcell was playing very well. A lot of people thought would make it to state in Division III, and it ended up being Roger Bacon last year.
Nice. See the head fake that Drew? Just that little head fake. I'm glad I finally get to see that, because all this zone play, I'm like, man, someone's got to start doing a pass fake, head fake, because it makes the defense move, and it just had Mason wide open.
Bernhard able to get his team back to within 3. Titans back down on offense. Harrison hanging out at the free throw line is going to kick it back out.
Nice
they were
pass.
looking for Logan Jones underneath and a little bit off the mark. He couldn't reel it in. Eagles will inbound it quickly, though, and move down to their offensive half court. Nelson faked the three-pointer, but there's a three-pointer that rolls in and out for Cole Fisher, rebounded by the Titans.
In and out.
Stapleton brings it down. What's he going to do? They're going to put the ball in motion out to Harrison, and Harrison's going to be called on a travel.
And does a little acrobat underhand shot.
Can't waste those good shots. You got to save those, right?
Yeah, that one right there. If that would have been a live one, I would have been like, wow.
I think we might have had to send that one into Sports Center tonight.
Look, his zone's collapsing and not guarding the right man. Mason, they should not let Mason that open.
Sutherland on the baseline drive, can't get the shot to fall. Stapleton's back down.
Very quick. Nice job.
Yeah, he's quick.
Great transition there.
Stapleton moves the ball down the floor quickly. Three-pointer by Bernhard, in and out.
That rim is being very sensitive tonight for CHCA, because I've seen at least 6 shots that I thought looked really pretty.
Yep, definitely not falling. Stapleton moving with the ball out on the left side of the court. He's going to kick it back over to Flowers. Back to Stapleton. Thinks about driving in, brings it back out. Finds Harrison. Nice spin move in the paint. Can't get that underhanded shot to fall, though. Quick rebound by Nelson, who's going to come down the floor.
All the way.
Take care of it by himself. Over the shoulder shot won't go. It's going to be last off of a Titan. It'll stay with the Eagles. Obviously, the home team and the home coaching staff didn't care for that call. Kind of quiet behind us here. We're on the CHCA side, so I think they knew too, but they'll take it, right?
It all works. As a former coach, I say it all works south end in the end. You know, when it's fouls, the fouls even up, even the bad calls even up.
The Eagles able, long three-pointer, way beyond the three-point line for Nelson, maybe too far, as that one clanged off the back of the rim. So three-point line's what, 19-9, right?
Yeah, I've seen some long ones this year.
That had to be 24-25 feet on that attempt by Nelson. So we're going to have to get a little bit closer, I think, to have a better
There's nothing wrong with shooting,
percentage.
But also I want to make sure that I want Mason to touch the ball a few times. I mean, like I said, there's nothing wrong with shooting three-pointers, but if they're not going in, you got to make sure that you work it in, because you don't want to live and die by the three-pointer, which is a big part against the zone. But Mason is so well at sealing underneath and finding his way open underneath that you've got to get him the ball, because he does very good things when he gets it underneath the basket.
Well, it seems like the Eagles are getting okay looks on those threes. They're just not getting the best looks at those three. Maybe that's why the shots aren't falling.
And the rim's not being their friend right now. I mean, like I said, I've seen at least 6 of them that were really pretty shots.
Well, and that's maybe where you think you get a little bit closer as opposed to shooting from 5 or 6 feet off the line. Maybe make that extra pass. One of your teammates kicks back out and has a cleaner look. Maybe those will start falling. So we had a St. Bernard timeout taken at the 5:56 mark here of the second quarter. The Titans are in front by 5. Good shot of Coach Ratke over on the home bench. Stapleton inbounds it over to Flowers. The offense will begin yet again. Garner back over to Stapleton. Drive in from 15 feet. They got Jones down on the left side.
That's
no good. Stapleton nearly lost the handle. Might have got an assist by the official.
Which I thought it was out of bounds if it was, but might have changed that rule.
Yeah. Garner back to Stapleton. Garner's going to drive in from 15 feet. Good for 2. 5 points now for Evan Garner. Puts his team up by 7. So everything going the way of the Titans at this point. Drive in by Fisher, no good. And a foul. Go on Garner.
The reason they didn't call it a charge because he was under the basket. If he would have stepped up and really took it, it would have been a charge.
So 5 fouls now here in the first half for the Titans. Cole Fisher will go to the free throw line for the Eagles and shoot a pair. Clock stopped at 5:13.
We got another freshman on the floor, number 24, Jack's out there, and I don't believe he's on that list. And like I said, they have a bright future coming up because that freshman class they got a lot of good athletes for all their sports.
Shot number 2 is good for Fisher. Quick timeout for a substitution. Tanner Sutherland, the 6'5" junior forward, is going to check back in to give the Eagles some additional height. Down in the post. Eagles in that zone defense again. Coming out to put a little bit of pressure on Stapleton, though.
Yeah, they're very quick. We're coming off that dribble, and that's something they're going to have to move their feet because they're going to split it, and he just gets after it. He got his own rebound there.
Stapleton took that shot and drove through the entire zone to get the rebound.
That's what can't happen. That's what they can't let happen, and that's why they're in the zone, so they don't let them do that. So, got to do a better job. Good seal there by CHCA.
Stapleton, obviously a tremendous athlete. He's pretty well put together, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Pretty strong. So you're
very quick. Yep.
You're going to have a hard time shutting him down when he gets ahead of steam driving through that zone.
Right. The only way you can stop players like that is get up and take a charge, or you just got to make sure you have a player can match that.
Clock stopped at 4:40. The Eagles will inbound underneath their own basket. They trail by 7, 22-15. Glenn Olson and Frank Edwards with you on ICRC-TV Sports.
Someone's got to stop ball now.
Garner, wow, can't believe it. No, didn't call that a walk, and it will fall, and he gets the and one. It's going to go on Michael Nelson. That'll be his first, just the Eagles' second. We'll take a look at it on replay here, Frank.
Yeah, that was a tough shot. Just great play by him. He's had a couple good shots tonight so far.
Garner now with 7 points in the game, trying to make it 8 with this free throw, and he does. Garner came in averaging just under 5 points a game. So he's already on his way.
Oh, man.
Good steal there by Garner. Long bounce pass. He's going to turn it right back over as Nelson comes up with it. He's got a one-on-one. Shot won't fall off the glass, but a good follow by Jack Kolar underneath to get his first 2 points of the game. 25-17.
Got to stop the ball. You can't let them have that. They're getting their bread and butter right now when they drive that ball.
Stapleton's shot won't fall. Rebounded by Bernhardt. Here come the Eagles. Bernhardt right around the free throw line is going to pass it over to Nelson. Long three, and it falls through for Michael Nelson.
He's the one CHCA that has hit some three-pointers tonight. He's doing a great job.
6 points now for the junior guard. Eagles being a little more aggressive defensively. Harrison, 3 off the mark. The turnover to the Eagles.
Coming back into the game for the Titans,
Tyreek King, the junior forward, number 31, is going to check back in for the Titans. Danny Vanatsky and Cole Fisher come back in for the Eagles.
Yep. See what their St. Bernard's shown different defenses a few times, and now they're back in the man.
Well, Eagles have shown a propensity to want to shoot that three ball, and the best way to defend it's with the man defense. But unfortunately, somebody got caught out of position there. The shot will not fall for Sutherland, though.
Someone's got to stop him.
Harrison.
Please.
Boy, Harrison is getting the looks. He's just not getting the greatest looks in the world. Deflected away by Jones into the hands of King. Flowers, three ball, in and out, and falls through. Michael Flowers now with 11 points in the game. He's a half a point away from his average here.
Players that are not normally scoring are scoring right now for St. Bernard, and that's sometimes you got to do that.
Eagles got away with a little bit of a push off there. Shot won't fall, rebounded by the Titans. We're going to slow it down a little bit.
Looks like CHJ is coming out of their zone defense and going to play a man defense, which they're going to have to make sure they move their feet, because watch how talented St. Bernard is at taking it to the hoop. As I said, you almost can't do that because they're so quick off the dribble, and that's why they've won 12 ball games, because the other teams, they're a very quick team. It's tough to guard that. Just went around them, and that was just speed.
Yeah, well, just a very strong drive.
And that's
that
something
was
that
determination as well as speed.
So it's almost pick your poison right now. There's players right now for St. Bernard that's scoring that normally don't score this amount of points. So, hey, as CHA, the coaches are going to tell them, like, hey, they've had a great first half. You just got to make sure these kids stay hungry and want it, because, you make sure you got to keep playing hard, because when other players start stepping up, and then you got Harrison going to get his, that's why St. Bernard is doing what they're doing right now.
Coach Keimer elects to take his first time out of the game as his team now trails by 10. Talk things over and see what kind of adjustments they can make for the final 2:15 of the second quarter.
And it's just a case right now of CHJ's shots ain't falling. And St. Bernard's is, other than when they drive the ball, then that's what they do well.
Yeah, I'll still argue with you. I think the Eagles just aren't getting the looks. They're being a little bit impatient on offense and not getting good looks like that there. Right. That was a pretty quick shot coming out of a timeout. But maybe that's what Coach Keimer wants them to do, to get the earlier look rather than hang on and risk turning the ball over. We'll see how it plays out here. But definitely not the highest quality looks the Eagles are getting, I think, at this point.
Right.
You need a little luck sometimes, too.
Yeah, and it's funny, if they go in, they'll be like, okay, it was a good shot then, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
See, I can't. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. You've seen how quickly they get to the basket.
Right. Stapleton drives to the basket hard. The underhanded shot won't fall, and the Eagles were there to come up with the basketball before it went out of bounds, but they promptly turn it back over with a traveling call as they get down into their offensive end of the floor.
Man.
Trailing by 10, that's not a mistake you want to make.
No.
Especially after you got a pretty lucky bounce and able to save that ball from going out of bounds down at the other end.
Their offense is pretty much dribble drive after a dribble weave, and then they could do it well. It's nuts. You see that. They cannot do what they're going to have to make sure they don't want, at least they're learning. They have to learn from their mistakes in the tournament. That's all I can say.
So Harrison got 2 for the Titans, followed by 2 for Mason Bernhardt for the Eagles, both on strong drives to the rim. We're under a minute to go now. See if the Titans elect to push the pace or slow it down and play for the last shot. Eagles are going to make it a little bit hard for them defensively. Three-pointer from the left side is going to fall through for Anthony Harrison, though. Give him 10 in the game.
I would be interested to see.
Turnover by Harrison. He's going to be all by himself.
Nice
Dishes
pass.
it off, and a nice follow right there by Michael Flowers. Excellent decision by Harrison. We thought it might be showtime, and very nearly stolen away by Logan Jones.
What I was about to say is they need to be better with their passes, but also I would love to see what St. Bernard's percentage is this first half of shooting the ball. They're shooting the ball great. But also having these sloppy turnovers ain't helping the scenario for CHJ also.
Not at all.
Nice pass. Gosh.
Yep.
They needed that more than anything. And there's a ball right there hungry for him.
Well executed play by Vanatsky. Harrison, long three.
You can't leave him wide open.
I tell you, can't leave him open like that. Somebody's going to have to just stick to him like Velcro. And a blocking foul is going to be called down in the paint on Tyreek King. He'll pick up his first foul of the game. That's going to send number 13, Cole Fisher, to the free throw line for the Eagles.
Foul is on Tyreek King.
Can't leave him wide open shooting the ball, and I've seen it like 3 times tonight, and I guarantee, I know coaches went over that because he's seen films and obviously knows who's their beasts. And nice offensive rebound by Mason there.
Yeah, Mason with the good follow, give him 9 in the game.
Look at that, that almost went in. That almost was, that should have been in almost.
So it looks like we're going to be well on our way to a high-scoring game. Your score at the end of 2, it's the St. Bernard Elmwood plays Titans 40, the CHCA Eagles 26. Frank, your thought on the first half at this point?
St. Bernard's playing the best game I've seen them play yet of the 3 times I've seen it, and they're shooting the ball well, and CHCA's got to regroup and make sure that they play hard, because when they went out of that zone, you've seen what they do well, and that's drive the ball. I mean, it's really nice. St. Bernard is very good at quick dribbling the ball and they could have a run here because they see what they're doing right now to the 3 seed. It's just going to give them confidence, like I said before the game started.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to step away for just a moment. We'll come back and talk about the adjustments we expect to be made in the halftime locker room right after this.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Welcome back to High School Hoops on ICRC-TV Sports. Glenn Olson and Frank Edwards bringing you all the action here from St. Bernard Elmwood Place High School. Frank, let's start with the homestanding Titans. What do you think they're discussing in the locker room at this point?
Saying the game plan's working out great and their shots are falling in from everywhere, but also CHCA needs to guard somebody. I mean, you can't leave Harrison open like that. I mean, he's killed him by himself, but then you add in the other players that usually don't average only 5, maybe 6 points. They're having their self-ball games, so they've already got 40 points. So I know for sure he's talking defense in that locker room, because you can't let that happen, you know. And when it comes down to if you're going to play man defense against them, you better make sure you move your feet and have help side defense, because they take it to the hoop hard.
We'll go through the scoring as I have it, unofficially, of course. First for the Titans, Anthony Harrison with 13, Lawrence Stapleton with 2, Evan Garner with 8, Mikhail Flowers with 15, Logan Jones with 2. For the C8CA Eagles, Michael Nelson has 6, Danny Vanatsky has 4, Cole Fisher has 3, Jack Kolar has 2, and Mason Bernhardt has 9, leading the Eagles as we figured he would, coming in averaging 11 points a game.
He needs some help. You know, that's why, I mean, he needs some help out there, and they need someone to hit some shots. And also, like you were saying, don't take a high percent shot right away, especially when you're down. You need to get you a smarter look at it and some good ball reversal.
So each team burned 1 timeout in the first half, so they'll each have 4. They both took a 30-second timeout, so 2 fulls, 2 30s. As we go down the stretch here, we're going to step away once again, and we'll be right back in just a moment.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back once again. We're going to take a look at some of the first half highlights here, show you some of the 66 points that have been scored between these two games. Start first here, Lawrence Stapleton. Nice pass to Harrison underneath, up and off the glass, good for 2. Harrison's having a fantastic game as we talked about. Nice drive in there by Harrison. You see the Eagles. Bounce pass on the baseline drive, up and off the glass. Good for Mason Bernhardt. Long three-pointer is going to fall in. There's Harrison with a long 3 from up top. We mentioned he has 13 points so far in the game. Harrison's going to drive in here through traffic, get the bounce off the backboard. Harrison one-on-one, thought he was going to dunk it, but he's going to pass it off over to Flowers, who cleans it up. Harrison, a long 3 from over in the right corner. So we talked about it. Harrison, we figured would have a pretty good game. He came in averaging just under 17 points. He's got 13 so far.
They weren't expecting the 15 and 8 though by the 2 players. That's really what's come down to. But also, you know, players are going to have goal games. It's going to happen. I mean, there's players, you know, they play varsity basketball, and that's going to happen. But also, they're going to have to respond a lot better. And you got to be hungry.
Just a quick reminder, if you do enjoy our ICRC-TV programming and want to get involved, learn the production side of it, or get behind the mic like Frank and I, make sure you reach out to Jason Dudley. It's Jason at ICRC-TV.com. Jason at ICRC-TV.com. You can also find us on Twitter at ICRC-TV, on Facebook, as well as on YouTube. Everything's archived at the ICRC-TV website that we cover, whether it's governmental, educational meetings, cultural events, or athletics.
You could probably even find some old tapes of me playing in them archives.
Probably could.
I'd like to see them.
Might have to blow the dust off of them.
Yeah.
So anyway,
hopefully it's not VHS.
So we were talking while we stepped away. What do you expect to see out of the Titans here in the second half, Frank?
St. Bernard knows what their strengths are. So I'm telling you, right now you've got a great lead. If CHA shows the zone defense, I'm going to be very, very passive strongly. So if I get a layup, beat them, but I ain't taking any shots, long shots, because I've already got where I need to be right now. I mean, they could be comfort with that 40, but also they just can't shoot them out of them coming back. And now you've seen a lot of teams do that. where why did they take that shot? Why did they do that? Just like the West Virginia-Kansas game. I mean, that we were up by 14 with 2.5 minutes left. It's like, wow, you could just held the ball and let the shot clock go. So, I mean, it's just sometimes the coaches look at, what if I did this? This is why during halftime they have those coaches on the bench to help them
see things from another perspective, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, the Eagles in a little bit of a hole here. They trail by 14, seem to have a little bit of a hard time shooting the ball. Bernhardt, as we mentioned, has got 9 points. Nelson has 6. The next leading scorer after that's Cole Fisher with 3. So they need to find some guys that can step up and get the ball through the cylinder at this point.
Sutherland needs to. He's been later. He's been on varsity. I mean, there's some, like I said, some of the shots, though, some of the three-pointers have just been right in and out, but also that's going to happen. So now you got to keep playing hard because sometimes the shots don't fall. So you just got to get hungry. But the turnovers and the open shots is really what's killing them right now, and they have to erase that.
You see Coach Ratke, his Titans will get things started here in the second half. Evan Garner set to bring the ball into play right here in front of our broadcast position. Again, Glenn Olson and Frank Edwards here with you. ICRC-TV Sports, High School Hoops. Thanks for tuning in, especially those of you tuning in live tonight through ICRC-TV.com and on YouTube, as well as our Spectrum viewers on Channel 18.
CHJ starts in a man defense.
Well, they almost have to because Harrison was getting too many open looks. So they were going to need to do something.
You have to pick your poison, though, because they're just very, very quick off the bat, and you can't have that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
just like that. Stapleton picks them apart underneath.
I mean, that wasn't even a pick. That was just a cut.
It's only Stapleton's 4th point. Nice stick back by Bernhardt. Stapleton's probably driven to the hole 5 times, just haven't been able to get the shot to fall on that underhanded shot. So.
Right.
That's the danger. You go to man, you've got to be athletic enough to hang with them. And so far, the Titans have been superior athletically.
Also CHCA could be in this to see what happens if they play it in the tournament-wise because, this game is not going to affect who's going to win the conference championship, but it could affect the tournament game. So you want to see how good they are the man, because they've shot the lights out, but also they've been wide open by shooting them lights out.
Cole Fisher picks up his 2nd foul as Stapleton was driving in strongly, as we've talked about on a few different occasions. It's his 2nd in the game. That's the first of the half for the Eagles. Garner, 3-pointer, won't fall, and he wasn't happy about it. He kind of posed and looked at that one like he thought it was going in, but the rim thought otherwise.
That should have been a foul.
Yeah, Bernhardt can't get his shot to fall. It's rebounded by Jones.
Stapleton. Ball now.
Stapleton quickly down the floor. Pass it off to Flowers.
Too easy, can't.
Jones comes high. Nice steal that time by Fisher.
All the way. Nice.
Or by Nelson, excuse me. Shot won't fall.
That's a foul, too.
Boy, they just can't get anything to go down. That was Cole Fisher on the follow. Couldn't get it to fall. Eagles miraculously hang on to it. Fisher's shot's going to be well off the mark.
Sorry, you just got to keep playing hard because sometimes the shots ain't falling. You just got to keep playing, but you can't let Flowers have a wide open 3 either.
Well, boy, they called that out, and lucky it didn't fall for Mikhail Flowers. Rebounded by the Eagles. Here they come down quickly. Bernhardt underneath, and he's going to be fouled by Harrison. That'll be 2 on Anthony Harrison.
Well, like I noted beforehand, even if they don't play in the zone, you don't need to be taking 3-pointers when you're up this lead because why do you think these teams are in these zones? Because usually you do struggle from the 3-point line, so don't shoot yourself out of the game.
Yep, there's some confusion over at the scoring table on who the foul was on. I've been there. Trust me, it's easy to get confused, but Harrison was the only defender underneath the basket.
Right. I mean, that's the thing that's been their one bad thing they've done tonight, and that's leave Mason way too open on a lot of possessions. CHC needs to keep going to him and make sure he touches the ball.
42-31, the Eagles starting to chip away. They now trail by 11. Seems for every positive thing that happens, 2 bad things are happening for them, though. They need to change their luck here pretty drastically. Stapleton thinks about
dribbling in and out now. You see, they're actually getting to the stage of to see who's going to be the guy. That's a travel.
Wow, should have been a travel on Garner. He had 3 steps.
That was unbelievable.
I don't know how 3 guys.
I can't believe no one else seen that.
Well,
I'm the only one. No one even in the stands was just saying. I was like, wait a second, there was an extra step in there.
Yeah, there was. Nonetheless, ball gets inbounded in. To Flowers, who fakes the three. They'll put it back in motion. There's Harrison.
Now they've went back to our zone, and then you leave Flowers wide open.
Yep, long three. 18 points now for Mikhail Flowers, or Mikhail, excuse me. 45-31 in favor of the Titans. The regular season finale for Ohio High School varsity boys hoop tonight. Girls get underway tomorrow with their sectional play.
Right, it's already here.
Seemed like just yesterday we were talking about before the game, we were at Princeton High School for the opener of football season. Now here we are at the end of basketball season already. Jones' shot won't fall, and he's fouled underneath. I believe that's going to be on Cadnar.
CHC's got to chip this lead to get to the single digits before the end of the quarter.
Shooting two, Tanner Sutherland.
So Eagles will go to the free throw line. Foul was on Logan Jones. He has 2 in the game now. First free throw's good by Sutherland. Sutherland comes in averaging 8 points in the game. He's not anywhere near that at this point, but getting closer after making a pair of free throws, 45-33.
You got to make sure you have help side with Flowers. He's very quick, which like all the players are.
Well, Frank, when we did the Titans game against Laughlin a couple weeks ago, it was a very physical contest as Jones drives in.
That's 2 times I've seen that.
It seems to be the answer to slowing down St. Bernard Elmwood Place is to play a physical game, which Laughlin was able to do.
It is, and one. You know, that's what I'm saying. They got to keep getting it in his hands because they don't have an answer on defense on him. There's no one that matches his mentality and physical size underneath.
Logan Jones picks up his third foul.
He's just going up there. I mean, and it's repetitious. They need to do that isolation play on him every play. Everyone get on one side, Mason drive, till I see him stop it.
Well, Jones is going to sit down with 3 fouls now. And one is good for Barnhart. Give him 15. 47-36.
Defense has got to step up a lot more.
Well, and at this point, we've seen the Titans make some long threes, so I don't think they're going to be able to play off as loose as they have been. And that's going to be a foul called on Matthew Cadnar. It's to drive by Anthony Harrison.
What you're going to have to do on that, when he gets into this type of offensive flow, you got to have someone jump him very quickly. I'm saying...
Quick inbounds to Harrison. He gets fouled immediately as he drives up to the basket. Michael Nelson picks up his second. The team's third. Anthony Harrison will go to the free throw line to shoot a pair. His offensive teammates gather around their coach, Michael Radke, for instructions.
Help side defense is so key in all of basketball, and that's something that they're going to have to do to stop, especially him and Flowers, and Stapleton, because all 3 of them are so quick.
Leads back to 12 for the Titans after Harrison made only 1 of 2 free throws. 3-pointer coming up by the Eagles, all air for Cole Fisher. Struggle for control underneath. Coach Keimer able to get a timeout after a diving play on the floor by Cole Fisher to come up with the loose basketball. So a 30-second timeout will be taken here at the 30-second mark of the third quarter.
Right, and the thing I'm saying in this huddle right here is saying who's doing well. Obviously who's doing it well tonight, and who can't stop is Mason. They need to make sure that Mason is on one side of the floor and everyone else is on the other side, because I want to see them stop him dribble drive, just like how they can't stop their dribble penetration. They cannot stop Mason because he's a big guy doing it. You know, he's strong, and he's just got to go baseline. Until I see them stop it, that's what I'm telling my players, because we're not getting points from other players right now. We're not shooting the ball. We're shooting air balls. So let's keep doing that. You know, that's how, you want to go to what's working, and you got to stick with it.
So correction, that timeout was taken at the 4:15 mark. Our camera picked up the 30-second timeout timer.
Nope.
Yep. Physical play by Harrison underneath. They were trying to pass the ball inside where the Eagles. Harrison's just having his way. Going to kick it out to Garner, who's wide open for a three. His shot won't fall. Struggle for the rebound. Bernhardt comes up with it.
Someone's a guard. You got to come back and get it.
Yeah, and Harrison's right there. Could have very nearly been another turnover. Drive in by Nelson. He's going to kick it out. Looking to get it inside.
Wow.
Shot finally falls through. Matthew Cadnar gets his first points of the game, and his team's back within 10. It's been just tough for the Eagles to get anything going offensively on a consistent basis against this Titan defense.
Help side, good job, Sutherland. Good defense there. That was about the best defensive stop there.
So timeout's going to be taken by St. Bernard at the 3:17 mark of the third quarter. So both coaches down to 3 timeouts. That'll be a full timeout taken by the Titans. And since it is a full timeout, we're going to step away for a break. We'll be right back after the timeout.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Welcome back to High School Hoops on ICRC-TV Sports. Glenn Olson and Frank Edwards with you. Taking away the last few seconds of this full timeout taken by the St. Bernard Elmwood Place Titans. Frank, what are they talking about in that huddle over there?
Well, that last defensive possession by CHCA, that's something I'm going to take to my films tomorrow, because what they did there right there was stop Flowers' dribble penetration. And it all happened because Sutherland had great help side defense too. So that's something they're going to have to note on, because they're very quick. So we'll see what happens here, because this is a big 3 minutes to start to go into the fourth quarter to see where they stand. They want to get it down to single digits.
Yeah, this is as close as the Eagles have been in a while. The lead back down to 10 for the Titans, 48-38, approaching the 3-minute mark of the third quarter. Harrison drives in. He's going to kick it out. It's Jordan Jones. Gets it over to Stapleton. Stapleton pulls up from 15. No good. No Titans there to rebound. Bernhardt comes up with it. Nearly stolen away by Harrison, though. So there's a mismatch as Harrison's slow to get down to the other end. Drive in by Nelson, and he's fouled.
It says no shot. I thought it was a shot for sure.
Looked like he was fouled as he was in the air, and the hand was going up to attempt that underhanded shot. So Jordan Jones checks into the game and promptly picks up his first foul. Does the sophomore guard.
I mean, let's look at the size of these players right here and look at Mason, what he's done. I mean, I'm having whatever plays I have drawn up to get it to Mason under the basket.
Harrison's going to take a seat. Logan Jones and those 3 fouls. Checks back in, though.
That was a tough play there, but, you know, I'll take that.
Bernhardt's shot wouldn't fall. Rebounded by the aforementioned Logan Jones. See what the Titans have in store this trip offensively. Jones to Stapleton.
Ball's dead.
To Garner.
God, frustrated coach, especially me.
Garner with a nice move. Looks like he might have got away with another travel, and he draws the foul on a strong drive into the basket.
He's a player that I would want to take a charge against, because he goes very hard, but they could get in front of him.
Tanner Sutherland picks up his first foul. It's the team's 4th of the half. All even at fouls now, 4 apiece. Evan Garner, the senior guard, will go to the free throw line and shoot a pair. First shot's good.
Knock on wood, but I swear I think both teams have shot the free throw very well tonight.
Seems like it. Harrison missed one that I recall, but other than that, I don't recall anybody missing many. Harrison back out on the floor now, almost as if on cue. Takes the place of Jordan Jones, who'll go back out. The second free throw is good for Evan Garner. Give him 10 in the game.
I got to get Mason under the basket. I want Mason is up on the top of the key.
Yeah, unless they want him to shoot threes, which I don't know why. Maybe they think he
in
can.
The wrong position. Nice cut.
Can drive in, yeah, nice
block.
cut in, but
even better block.
Yeah.
That was a good defensive block.
Michael Nelson. Stapleton's going to take it strongly, though. It won't fall.
How did he not get that rebound?
Well, Vanatsky didn't have good control on it, and the Titans were there physically to knock it free. Nelson
Unbelievable.
can't complete his drive in.
Just got to stop it.
Stapleton from about 8 feet
That's
off
a
the back
post there.
iron, no good. Swatted away by Logan Jones, and they're going to say it was last off of an Eagle offensive player. So the ball will stay with the Titans. Nope, goes to the Eagles. Okay.
Well, they switched it up, and I thought it was a foul.
Yeah, I guess that's what they thought. The Eagles thought it was going to be a foul on Logan Jones. And he's been prone to that swatting down in that post area. Long three falls through for Michael Nelson.
Single point down to 9. Now they got to build off that.
So it will be a full timeout taken by C8CA. We'll step away for another short break and be right back after the timeout.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
After the timeout, thanks for tuning in to High School Hoops on ICRC-TV Sports. Frank, what are the Eagles going to have to do? It seems like everything they're trying just isn't working at this point.
And it's what it is. They had to come out of that zone defense because they were such a down deficit, and they're almost in this territory. If they can get it down to maybe 4, they can actually go back to that. Just because, I mean, I see where St. Bernard's strengths are, and they're very, very good at the DP, dribble penetration. But also, I sound like a broken record. Mason's got to, I mean, just get it in his hands under the basket. Even if he's got to stay on the baseline and overload one side, just let him, because he's had a great game tonight.
Eagles are within 9. That's as close as they've been in a while. Under 1:30 to go now here in the third quarter. Time starting to become an issue for the Eagles. They've been down by 12 to 14 points. They're now within 9. They need to get some points here and deny the Titans. Easier said than done.
There you go. Almost had him.
Yep, the intensity is going to be dialed up defensively after the timeout for Coach Keimer's Eagles. Harrison tries to drive through 3 defenders.
I honestly don't even see where that was at.
It's going to be on Cadnar. He's trying to tell the official, look, Nelson put a hand on my shoulder.
Fouls on Matthew Cadner. That's his second.
2 fouls now for Cadner. That's 5 for the Eagles. Garner will inbound it underneath the Titans' own basket. Titans line up in a stack to break it out. Pretty simple play. Nice flash in that time by Flowers.
Some of these are obviously questionable. I mean, I don't know about this.
So Mason Bernhardt gets his first foul. That's 6 now for the Eagles. The Eagles somewhat incredulous.
They're not looking at the ball. They got to know where the ball's at.
Three-pointer by Flowers. No good. Off the mark. Bernhardt comes up with it. Gets mugged from behind. No foul. And the struggle for control. And Coach Keimer gets a timeout, and he's not. Wait a minute. Now there's some confusion on the floor on who called what.
Well, this is what I was about to say. You can't call a timeout when you don't have the ball, but also CHA was about to have the ball, so we'll see how this all works out, but I know it's to be CHC's ball.
Well, I think what Coach Keimer's saying, he was calling for the timeout while they had possession.
Right here?
Right there. That's when he was calling for the timeout. We don't have Coach Keimer in the shot, but that's what he, I believe that's what Coach Keimer's arguing. I was hollering for a timeout. Nobody acknowledged me.
It's a correctable error.
So now do you trust the coach, or do you play it by the book?
No, how he had the timeout when he had that ball. He was about to lose it.
Well, but being devil's advocate, anybody can say that they had the timeout. So Coach Keimer is going to be granted the timeout, it looks like, or no?
Wow. This all works out for everybody on the CHC side.
Well, they keep the ball.
They need to get him a big bucket here because they need to see a 7 or maybe even a 6.
Last minute of the third quarter, the Eagles trail by 9.
There they go. Tanner should even do something under there. He's a bigger guy, too.
Oh, boy, that
should have been a foul long before that.
That's just very physical defense.
See, and this side has been.
That's only Stapleton's second foul, Frank. Just the team's fifth here in the second half. Now the Eagles have ratcheted up the intensity defensively and the level of physicality. Fortunately, it's not resulted in good shots at this point for them.
Man, that's
and there's a turnover.
Turnover they can't have. I mean, it's just can't have it.
Nope. Too many unforced errors, as the saying goes, right?
Yep.
So 50-41, 40 seconds ticking away here. St. Bernard, Elmwood Place High School. Nice steal by Nelson. He's going to take it himself. Jones can't get back in time to defend. Give Michael Nelson 11 points in the game. That's what Coach Keimer needs to see. They need some sort of jolt.
They took up the pressure a little bit, which is nice to see. Maybe they need to match it because being too tentative is not good either. That's a long three.
Yeah, long three by Flowers off the mark.
That's a foul there.
Right into the hands of Bernhardt, and that's going to be a foul on Flowers. That'll be his second. As he gets all over Mason Bernhardt.
They got plenty of time here.
Anthony Harrison checks back in. He's going to take the place of Flowers, who will go to the bench with 2 fouls. Coach Radke's kind of giving Flowers the business there. What are you doing going into him from behind like that? So
he's going to want to drive, it looks like. Good steal.
Nelson turns it over. Garner, and he'll be fouled at the other end by Cole Fisher. Good job by Garner of drawing that foul.
And that what happened was he gave it away. He was telling those players to clear out. That means you're driving. So he got ready and picked his pocket, and that's what happened there.
3 fouls now for Cole Fisher. That's 7 in the half. Garner will go to the free throw line. First shot is good. 11 points in the game now for Garner. We mentioned earlier, just averaging 4.8. So having himself a tremendous game tonight and really playing good basketball here down the stretch of the season. Second shot rolls out, though. The announcer's curse. Desperation threes, no good. Didn't get it off. So at the end of 3, St. Bernard, Elmwood Place 51, CHCA Eagles 43. Definitely doable at this point, Frank, for the Eagles.
Yeah, they get the ball coming in the fourth quarter. They would have liked to get a better option there going in maybe 5 or 4. So they're just going to, they fought back. They split that point total in half, so now they're right there. Obviously they can't have turnovers because that's been their Achilles heel tonight.
There you see our cable cast replay schedule for Spectrum and Cincinnati Bell Optics customers. You can also always find our content archived at ICRC-TV.com. ICRC-TV.com. A couple of exclusives for you Spectrum subscribers, as you saw there. Well, here we go, partner. We got 8 more minutes left in the regular season, barring a comeback by the Eagles and the ability to tie this game. What do you think they're going to have to do that? Besides score a bunch of points.
Yeah, they're going to have to score more than them.
Yeah.
That's the easy answer, but they're, get it to the big guys, which I know that's probably what you're saying now because they're bigger than them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something they did at the very beginning of the game, and then they went back to just shooting their three-pointers, and they weren't following, and that's kind of where they went wrong because St. Bernard had a great first half shooting the ball, so now they're just going to have to, who wants it more?
So the Eagles will get things started here in the fourth quarter. The ball gets inbounded in front of our broadcast position here at midcourt, St. Bernard Elmwood Place Gymnasium. Ball somehow saved from going out of bounds, but right into the hands of Stapleton, who has a one-on-one with Nelson, and it falls through. Boy, Stapleton has been all over the floor tonight.
He reads it like a DB. You cannot telegraph your pass. That's where he makes his steals from. That's where he does a great job at doing it, but you just can't do that.
It's absolutely amazing. He only has 6 points as many times as we've said his name in this broadcast tonight. Long three-pointer on the way by Nelson is no good. Struggle for control. The Eagles do come up with it. Bernhardt with a drive in. He's going to take care of it himself. 2 more for Basin Bernhardt.
It looks too easy to me on how they should be attacking this.
53-45. Bernhardt now with 17 points in the game.
He's got to stop him.
Harrison wisely dishes it out to Logan Jones. Eagles kind of lost where the ball was for a moment, and the Titans are able to hang on to possession.
They're going to have to play up because they're going to just sit back and play a little.
Oh, yeah. Dribble it out at this point. Jones with the drive, kicks it out to Flowers. Flowers one-on-one with Bernhardt. Thinks about driving in. He'll back out. Tyreek King, Logan Jones. Harrison's going to come up high now.
I mean, even you're going to have to try a jump trap or something because he's going to keep doing this, and that's something they're going to have to do.
Harrison finds a hole, attempts to drive in, and they're saying he's going to be forced out of bounds.
Wow. I mean, I just don't.
Cadner picks up his third foul. That's 8 team fouls now for the Eagles, so Harrison will go to the free throw line and shoot 1-on-1. Not the guy you want to send to the free throw line when you can avoid it, I think. First shot, no good, won't get the bonus. Strong rebound by Bernhardt underneath. Hands it off to Fisher. Sutherland.
Oh, my gosh.
To Cadnar.
Oh, my gosh.
Ball will stay with the Titans. Wow.
Like I said, I want to go to where it's been working for you, and you want to get it to Masons. I mean, that's just how, even Tanner, because he's bigger too. That was a good block, though.
Logan Jones all by himself, steps
Nice
just inside
pass.
the three-point line, back to Harrison. Harrison's shot won't fall.
That's a technical.
That should have been a foul.
That's unbelievable there.
Yeah, I agree. Harrison doesn't need to do that just because he missed a free throw. And now they're going to get Stapleton. That'll be his third. But wow, how do you miss that on Anthony Harrison? How do you miss that?
Unbelievable. They've got it. Look, they're still talking. If they don't fix what's happening, it's just going to get worse.
And they're still not in any hurry.
They don't even. I think they don't even know. They don't even know.
I don't know how you missed that.
Because he's
6
been
eyeballs
bickering
on the
the whole
floor
time.
wearing striped shirts. How do you miss that? So Cole Fisher will go to the free throw line for the Eagles after all that nonsense.
I mean, that could have been a lot of things could have happened there. Man, as I said that.
Won't fall. Bernhardt's just swatting at it.
Man.
He was being held underneath the basket.
Gotta take a charge.
Titans come up with it. Sutherland doesn't take the charge. Shot won't fall. Rebounded underneath by Cadner. Nelson drives down. Bernhardt, long pass to Fisher.
Oh, my gosh. How do you leave him wide open?
Yeah, Bernhardt's wide open underneath. The Eagles could have been doing that a lot more in this game. They'd be a lot closer than they are. They're down by 6. Good heads-up play by Cole Fisher to deflect an attempt at a long pass by the Titans. Coach Keimer has to like what he's seen.
The coach took Harrison out there, and I wondered what he said to him because, I mean, they're still talking to each other. I mean, if someone pushes you, it's going to be tough because it's just going to make for more to happen.
Got plenty of time left in this game for tempers to eventually boil over. There's Harrison to Jones, stolen away by the Eagles.
All the way.
2-on-2, up, off the glass. Good for Michael Nelson.
Probably see a timeout here, definitely by St. Bernard because they're down.
So St. Bernard will take a timeout as they watch their lead evaporate down to 4 points. It's 53-49.
And it could be a lot worse from the frustration Harrison showed because you throw a technical in there, we got some free throws, and we're probably even looking at a tie ball game, so they should be licking their wounds a little bit because we're still winning.
Do want to take a minute to give a shout out to our crew tonight on hand, bringing you this high school hoops action. Our producer is Ryan McGahey. At the director's control, Matt Hodges for the first time in the big chair. Good job, Matt. On replays, Dean Lowry. Graphics, Mike Kosman. And our camera operators, Becky Peterson, Drew Lowry, James Ayler, and Tyler Johnson. Great job, everyone, bringing you all this exciting high school varsity boys basketball action featuring 2 of our ICRC communities, St. Bernard Elmwood Place and the C8CA Eagles. There's 2 of our schools, I should say.
Right. I mean, it's been a crazy game. You know, I've seen what both offenses can do to each other, and sometimes they're going away from it. So it's right here in the ball game. You know, you just got to make sure they don't give up big turnovers and keep playing hard. They fought their way back. It's great job.
Well, look, I'm not going to blame Anthony Harrison for this lead evaporating down to 4
no
points.
Way.
But that was a lot of nonsense out on the floor that took the mental focus off of where it needed to be. And all of a sudden, the Eagles are within striking distance with plenty of time left on the clock. There's 5:16 left to go.
And he's frustrated. And that's a thing, too. So if it even gets even worse, we're going to see more frustration.
Yeah, and as we talked about,
there you go, jump it. That's what I would do. You got to get your man, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Bernhardt slow to catch up to the action there.
You got to jump trap the right guy also.
Well, and Flowers can hit those long threes. You leave him open, he's going to drain those.
They're just going to sit back and have to.
Yeah, look at him. Boy, I'm surprised he hasn't popped one yet.
2 guards up here, the ones that are very, very quick. But Stapleton is also very quick.
King's going to pass it over to Garner. It's being guarded by Sutherland. A little bit of a height mismatch there.
There we go. That's a bad pass.
Yeah, they're trying to get it to Harrison underneath. Sutherland comes up with it. Easy layup. 4 points in the game now for Tanner Sutherland. Eagles are within 2.
You know, I like this defense pressure. I'm doing a jump all the time. I don't care how quick you're going to have to do it.
Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining in the game. Yep, that's going to be a foul on Cadnar, and that should be 4 on him. And it's really a shame because he's been playing very well defensively out there, and he really did need to do that little armbar move there to pick up number 4. Danny Vanatsky's going to check in place of Cadnar. 1-1 coming up for Mikhail Flowers. First shot's on the way.
Big, nice free throw.
19 points in the game now. 4 Flowers came in averaging 11.5. Definitely having himself a fine game to say the least. Bonus shot, Nylon. Give him 20. Leads back to 4 for the Titans. But the Eagles have momentum on their side at this point.
Get it to Mason under the basket.
Gets by Harrison.
You see what I'm saying? His ceiling is so special. That's something that it's an art form the basketball players under the basket need to learn, because you got to stop him. That's the guy that I don't want the ball to have by himself.
Lead back down to 2. Suffocating defense by the Eagles. They force the turnover. Titans look all kinds of confused out on the floor at this point.
Go to what got you there. Don't give a turnover.
They were trying to feed it trying to feed it inside to Cole Fisher. Evan Garner's going to come back in for the Titans.
I mean, you've seen what they did there on that seal, that last possession. It's tough to defend that, even if you have a very good tall defender. So
inbound play is successful. Back up to the top. Eagles will reset offensively. That's Fisher. Over to Sutherland. Nelson in the corner for the long threes. No good. Struggle for control underneath. Eagles come up with it. Sutherland for 3. In and out.
Wow. They get the lead. That's wow. That was the kiss of all kisses.
Eagles move in front, 56 to 55.
Timeout. Good timeout. That was a travel too.
St. Bernard Elmwood Place takes one of their 2 remaining timeouts.
We're getting to see a special game here. We just saw, look at this kiss here. I mean, they had a couple in the first half by St. Bernard, and that's a shooter's rule, they call it. What I'm doing here on defense, as a coaching staff on CHC, I'm going to have to think about it, because we got the lead now. We got back. What got us there? But also, what does St. Bernard do very well so what do? Do we go back to our zone?
Going to have to do something, because whatever they're doing now is not working.
But also, that's what I said, what got them there?
CHCA is definitely out hustling the Titans at this point.
And they're doing it on man defense, too. And that's the part, so maybe they don't get out of it. So, I mean, that's why I'm saying as a coaching staff, you're going to have to talk. That's why during these timeouts are so important, because whatever you decide is going to sometimes be the outcome of this game, because they're listening to you, So here it's going to come into either we're going to see them come back in their zone defense, or they're going to stay hungry like they have and just keep the pressure on.
Well, one thing to keep an eye on, the Eagles have ratcheted up the physical intensity, but they now have 9 team fouls, so they're 1 foul away from sending the Titans to the free throw line for a pair instead of a 1-and-1.
Right. And something I have noticed so far with St. Bernard, they get frustrated when they don't, like they have bad passes. And so they stayed in their man. So they're staying in what got them there.
Turnover? Nope. Who's it going to go to here? Deflected away by the Eagles. It will stay with the Titans. Garner will come over to.
See, I'm denying this. See how I'm not letting him have nothing. I want to deny that.
Yeah.
That's something that.
Well, almost look like a carry there by Harrison.
He's
turnover,
almost out of
though.
control. He's almost out of control, and I think his temper is what's doing it to him.
Eagles come up with it. I'd be inclined to agree with you at this point.
That's a foul. Right? Holy cow.
Wow.
I mean, I don't understand how that would be a foul, and that's not. And I mean, he's
usually don't expect to see the referees swallow the whistles until we get into tournament. They're a week early, I think.
You know, they got to be careful here because I see this coming definitely.
Flowers' shot won't fall. It's rebounded by Sutherland underneath, almost ripped away by Stapleton.
Oh my gosh! He just flicked that up.
Eagles lead by 1, approaching the 2-minute mark in the game.
Get it in there. There you go.
14-point lead is evaporated. Stapleton's going to get in and tie it up, and we get a jump ball. It'll go back over to the Titans on the alternating possession rule.
Good defense by Stapleton, but they had it right, that right idea. Oh, man. They can't, that last possession, though, Flowers should have had that layup, so they're going to have to be careful here because St. Bernard's getting what they want.
Flowers brings it down after the ball was inbounded by Stapleton. Titans will go in motion. Jones to Garner. Hands it off.
Here. This is where he'll do a spin.
Harrison.
Too easy.
Acrobatic shot. Won't fall. Strong rebound underneath by Sutherland.
2 layups. Flowers and that I thought was going to be in.
They're just Harrison's driving in
Mason had him again.
Kind of crazily, Frank. You know, he's not getting a good look. He's driving in strong.
There it is. There you go. Good job. See, that's what they need to do with the 2 guys, Tanner. And I'm getting excited because, you know, that's something that I've seen they're doing a great job of is getting it to Tanner and Hastings hands underneath the basket. That's a big reason why they're back in the game and took the lead.
Anthony Harrison picks up foul number 3. Just a little under 90 seconds remaining in regulation. Tanner Sutherland will go to the line and shoot 2. He was on the shot. 18 fouls, however, now for the Titans, 9 for the Eagles. Free throw is off the mark for Tanner Sutherland. Cadner's going to check back in place of Danny Vanatsky. Cadner, as you recall, has a bunch of fouls. With Matthew Cadner. Second free throw will fall through for Tanner Sutherland. Give him 8. He's finally at his season average.
I think he wanted that first free throw, though. You know, that's something I know he does well at.
I think Coach Keimer wanted for him to make that free throw as well. And we're going to have a full timeout here. We're going to step away for a break. No, actually, to be a 30-second timeout. Excuse me, they had a minute up on the clock initially. So Eagles out in front by 2, and they've got there just by sheer determination and playing a little better mentally, I think.
Yeah, they became more aggressive. You know, they didn't know how to play that man defense because you can't play it timid because then they definitely dribble right around you. But they've done a great job by letting them get sporadic and lose control. But the last 2 possessions, they got lucky because Flowers and Harrison both had layups that just barely just didn't fall in.
So the Eagles break the huddle. The Titans a little more slow to do so, but both teams come back out onto the floor now. 1:19 remaining in regulation.
I deny this. I make him work for it.
Titans now out of timeouts, though.
Wow.
The Eagles have 2 in their pocket, but the Titans are out of timeouts.
Okay, got to have help side on mesh, especially on Flowers and Harrison, because this is.
Yeah, Eagles being a little more aggressive, reaching in. Stapleton can't get his shot to fall. Eagles come up with the rebound. That's Cole Fisher that comes up with it in a mad scramble for the ball.
Wow.
So you got to kind of like the position that the Eagles are in at this point, leading by 2. And they're going to get a Harrison for a foul?
Harrison should be happy that. Because
Wow.
he's got more time on the clock. You're going to be fouling in the next 10 seconds anyway. Why not get it early?
But that's 4 now on Anthony Harrison.
He's now, as a player, he's going to be smart. Sorry, Glenn.
Michael Nelson's going to go to the free throw line and shoot 1-and-1. So Harrison's going to have to be careful. He'll be watching the rest of this one from over in the comfy seats on the far sideline. Michael Nelson, the junior guard, at the free throw line. St. Bernard faithful trying to make noise.
Big free throw.
Doesn't deter Nelson, though. Give him 14.
He's had a great game.
Sure has. Came in averaging just a tick under 10 points at 9.9. Bonus shot is on the way. His team's ahead by 3. He's trying to make it 4. And he does.
Big. That's what.
Big
that's
free throws.
Yeah.
15 points. 15 points in the game for Michael Nelson. The Eagles are in front by 4. If you'd have told me this halfway through the third quarter.
Stay with him. See, you can't let him. He got lucky because Flowers almost had him a wide open 3.
Harrison with the ball. We saw a member of the Clark coaching staff here scouting. He's going to take an early exit. So all he needed to see as they prepare for tournament play next week.
Well, he's even got himself a video to watch later, too, so he got to see a live feed, and you can always see it later.
He may mute us, though.
Oh, that's fine. If he does, he might lose some tidbits to make his team win.
Michael Nelson picks up foul number 3. Lawrence Stapleton's going to go to the free throw line and shoot a pair, as you heard our public address announcer say. Now 10 team fouls for the Eagles. 7 points in the game for Stapleton, attempting to make it 8 on the bonus shot. Got Bernhardt and Sutherland on the right side. Attempt to get the rebound. Shot won't fall. Bernhardt comes up with it, though. Able to get out of the press.
Ball.
Yep. And now the Titans have to foul. And that one falls to Mikhail Flowers, who will pick up number 3. The desperation foul. His team trailing by 3. Tanner Sutherland, sitting at 8 points, is going to go to the free throw line and shoot a pair. Both teams with 10 plus at this point. Quick free throw by Sutherland, falls through. 9 points in the game, would like to make it 10. His team's ahead by 4, he'd like to make it 5. 60-56 is what we have on the scoreboard. Second shot falls through for Sutherland.
He's had a good second half.
Sure has. Stepped up when it's mattered. He didn't have a good first half. Boy, look at the Titans just standing around. You got Evan Garner not moving at all over on the left side of the offensive formation.
Unbelievable.
And Michael Flowers.
Could have almost been Flowers. You got to be careful. That was a long three. That was a crazy shot. He's had himself a ball game.
Flowers now with 23.
Here's a replay, just pulled it up. I mean, it's funny when you see these games, you know, it's just, they both had the no-quit attitude, and you need that.
Evan Garner picks up his 3rd foul. That's going to send Michael Nelson to the free throw line to shoot a pair.
Huge free throws.
Double bonus. First shot, bang.
I mean, that's huge. I mean, these free throws are what win ball games.
I agree.
And lose ball games.
I agree. And CHCA has made them down the stretch when it's mattered. 3-point lead. Nelson's trying to make it 4 with the bonus.
Oh, my God.
Rolled in and out. Would not fall through. It's going to have to be a 3-point attempt by the Titans, though. Stapleton's hanging on to the ball. They're trying to get it to Flowers. Flowers, 3-ball, won't fall. Rebounded by the Eagles, and that will do it. Your final in a tremendous comeback. The CHCA Eagles 62, the St. Bernard Elmwood Place Titans 59. The Eagles still a win on the Titans senior night, Frank.
Man, I tell you what, that free throw did it some kind of weird spin out of the hoop, and I swear he had a great look at that 3, and I would have fouled him. Yeah. I mean, that's I'm big at that logic, because if that went in, we're going into OT. But hey, great comeback. You know, that's the adjustments you need to make in games, because then you know that you can come back and win when you are down. Hey, we can make it, guys. Remember that game. So that's what I'm saying. Both teams are going to build off this, because, I mean, St. Bernard had a great game. They played well. And just CHCA wanted it a little more in that last quarter, and that's what the difference was.
Well, all the credit in the world goes to head coach Andy Keimer and his CHCA Eagles. They were down by 14 at one point in the third quarter and came all the way back to escape or actually steal, I should say, a 3-point win here on
against
the
a
home
team
floor.
that can control the ball so very well.
Well, it's going to be interesting. As we mentioned, the Titans will take on Clark Montessori in the first round on February 24th at 5:30 out at Western Brown High School. The winner of that game will get the CHCA Eagles on the 28th at 6 o'clock, also at Western Brown. Any closing thoughts before we call tonight?
I have a feeling we're going to see a rematch. That's my nickname right now.
Make sure you stay tuned to ICRC-TV.com for all of our basketball action. As we mentioned, the girls' tournament gets underway tomorrow on Saturday, and we'll be bringing you lots of boys and girls varsity tournament action. On behalf of Ryan McGahey and Matt Hodges, and for Frank Edwards and our entire crew, I'm Glenn Olson. We'll see you next time. You've been watching High School Hoops on ICRC TV Sports. So long, everyone.